I was driving home on Friday night going, right, who could absorb that? Who could stand against that level of intensity and pressure? And then I probably saw the most pressure-packed game I've ever experienced on Saturday. So from a Geelong perspective first, and it was a bit like reliving the 2009 preliminary final, which is something that most thought we'd never have to live through again. But there it was, just the excruciating tension in every moment of that. And Geelong, I think most would say, didn't play their best, but it was a hell of an effort to overcome Collingwood in that genre and under those circumstances.
Oh, Collingwood easily the best losers if the Swans were the best winners. They were fantastic, and everyone saying, oh, will they stand up? Will that style stand up in finals? We just saw it stand up under the fiercest spotlight. The pressure to get the ball. How many times when someone had the ball, a hand would come in or a body would go across and just nullify or spoil, and it was just as hectic a game of football that I've seen, pockmarked with absolute brilliance. I was sitting right behind Jeremy Cameron's goal, OK?
Yep.
And I said to the person I was sitting with, no chance, because the wind was howling straight into the face. He's kicking it on the wrong side of the body. I said, he can't kick this. My God, he'd almost split the middle. Yep. It was just a glorious kick. And then Gary Rowan stood up, and all the small forwards and both teams had to really fight. Collingwood had some outstanding players. There was a lot of pressure on Jordan De Goey going into the game. A lot of pressure, Jared. And I thought he was best of field, Jordan De Goey. The noise when he kicked the ball, what you were doing? No, you were calling.
Yeah.
When Jordan De Goey ran in and kicked the goal at the 22-minute mark of the last quarter, I've always said that Mark McCurry's goal in the 93 preliminary final was the loudest noise I've heard at the MCG. That's a long time ago. That noise when De Goey kicked that goal, it was reverberating around the MCG. I was looking to my left and right, and human beings, they were going bonkers, Jared, like bonkers, jumping up and down, hugging, and I'm looking at it going, we're back. Society, we're back as a group, and it was just a magnificent game. It really was.
So the Collingwood side of things, I thought Collingwood played better in their narrow defeat than they have in a whole swag of their narrow wins.
That's a good argument, that.
I thought they actually... So there's been a little bit of the mystical around some of what Collingwood's done. Their game was in such solid order.
Yeah, it was.
They lose nothing in my eye other than you have to go the long way round. We've seen teams go the long way round.
Yeah, they can do it.
On grand final day. So they first have to deal with the Dockers and then potentially a trip to Sydney. But I was so impressed with the way that they played. Their planning was meticulous. I thought their execution was pretty well excellent. And just the small margins at the end. So right at the end, they have played the year daring to win, and that means you risk losing. And every now and then you will risk losing, and that's what happened.
Oh, it was fantastic coaching from Craig McRae. And you looked at him and everyone's going, it really annoys me, but it frustrates me when people say, this is the worst minute of Collingwood season. My God, they were trying to win a game of football to go into a Premier final, and everyone's all years asking, how is Collingwood doing it? What have they got? Oh, they got self-belief. Rah, rah, rah. No, it started with the coach at the start of the year, and he's just built, hey, whatever the situation is, we are going to try and win. Not to not lose, we're going to try and win, and they went for it. And you know what? If it came off, everyone would have said, Craig McRae...
Well, it's been coming off all year.
You are just a fabulous coach. Guys like Scott Pendlebury, Joel Selwood, two of these, they sort of get looked over, those two, because they're veterans who have been talking about them for about 16 years now. What those two players did on the weekend for their respective teams as the captains was astonishing.
Yeah, it was one of Selwood's best.
Selwood played the fewest minutes for Geelong. It was a third-ranked play. He was fantastic. And once again, Pendlebury. Oh my, he's just a fantastic player in the heat. He was out of control it again. You'd think at 35 or however old he is, he'd lose his edge. You know, the footsteps are coming, you can hear them. It's not.
No, they're boxed a bit smarter, don't they? You've dug up a curious little story around Jack Ginnivan and a chicken wing tackle on Patrick Dangerfield.
Yeah, yes, that emerged emerged today. The down the ground foot. It's not good. Seriously, it's not good. Patrick Dangerfield. My understanding, he was furious at the time. He was furious when he got to the bench. He spoke to the club after the game. You have to zoom right in. There it is. Ginnivan sort of rolls on him and grabs an arm and rolls him over. Did you see that, Jared? See, he winces there, Dangerfield. Have another look at that. So there it is. There, grabs the arm and then rolls. I mean, arms aren't supposed to do that, go in that direction. The match review panel, I spoke to Geelong today. They said, oh, well, that's for the match review panel to decide. Well, they missed it. They didn't see that, so...
Do you think if it had been seen, it would have been cited?
Oh, absolutely. Don't you?
Yeah.
Can't be doing that. I mean, there's codes of football. We've been talking about codes of football amongst the players for a couple of weeks now. There's certain codes of football that chicken winging is certainly out because the person's vulnerable and he can pop a shoulder or in this case, maybe dislocated an elbow. So, once again, and I'm not picking on Jack Ginnivan, but this is a great game to play. You've got to respect aspects of this game. You just must. And Craig McRae and the footy department have got to sit him down and say, hey, mate, that can't be done. It just can't be done. So, yeah, disappointing from
Dangerfield have
Jack.
been a vocal supporter of Ginnivan along the way as well. So that is a curious one.